Computer. Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to Monday Night Live, our team call. I could not be any more excited or more proud to introduce my dear friend and sister, Loxlia Paltz, and she is a leader of leaders, truly. So without further ado, I hope you've got a notepad and a pen because you are going to hear incredible wisdom from her. And Lox, take it away.
Hey, everybody. Like Michelle said, my name is Loxlia, and I am really excited to get to share with you tonight. It's going to be a very vulnerable, very personal thing, but something that has really impacted my life and my business tremendously in especially the last 30 days. And so something I'm very passionate and very privileged to get to share with you tonight. So I wanted to start by asking you a question because it's something that I often ask myself, and especially in the terms of this business. I will often say to myself, why are you here? What are you doing here? You know, what is your purpose here? And I think we would all kind of start with, well, I've been impacted by these products or this company, this opportunity, or this community of this amazing team. And we kind of bring it back to ourselves. We have had an experience here that has given us a value that we have been inspired then to pour out. And I think we tend to then get into life, and life happens, and it can kind of derail where we're going with that and distract us from that purpose. So I wanted to share just really quickly a little bit about my story in the last month and really how this has kind of played out for me and some of the things that I've learned that have really truly been just huge, profound lessons, but also have really changed the trajectory of how I even think about this business and about my life. So I'm going to try not to cry, but if I do, just bear with me. So on September 23rd, my best friend, who is also my ex-husband's wife, which makes her my 3 older boys' bonus mom, had her baby girl that we had prayed for 2 years early at 24 weeks and 5 days. Of course, it was a big dramatic thing. You know, she was in the NICU. We weren't sure what was going to happen. There was just a huge amount of prayer and hoping and journeying and all of those kind of things. And we just prayed fiercely. We believed for the miracle of her life because it was such a weighted life that carried so much glory and so much impact. And she passed away on October 23rd from an infection. Actually, she became septic. And I was scheduled to leave for leaders retreat that next morning. And I remember calling my husband that day and saying to him, like, you know, explaining what had just happened, literally 10 minutes after I had gotten the text from my ex-husband. And he said to me, "You still have to go tomorrow." And I just thought, what? Like, why and how and who does that? And, you know, all of the things that you would think in that moment. But I knew that it was the right thing. There was nothing that I could do here immediately. I just knew that I needed to step into this opportunity and this invitation that I knew that God had prepared for me already and show up regardless. And of course, it was one of the hardest things I've ever done. I cried on the whole plane ride. I was sitting stuck between 2 people, which was providential as well. I could not sit with Tracy, who I was going with. And I sat there and just grieved for that first couple hours. And I arrived at Leaders Retreat not knowing what to expect, but with this huge expectancy of really getting to know the company and the culture and just really wanting to absorb every single thing that I possibly could, because I felt like this was a catalyst for my business, for my belief, for everything that God wants to do in my life in this area. And looking back now, I see how much more open I was to soaking up every single aspect because I was so broken open that I didn't miss a thing. I mean, I was like more than if it's already full, and I was wrung out. And the culture that I wish I could share with you. I mean, I won't even get close to describing what we saw at Leaders Retreat. The culture, the heart of this company, the values, the attention to the details and needs of the ambassadors, the tools that they give us, the resources, the way they think about every single person and the way everybody matters. It was all just absolutely mind-blowing to me. And what it gave me was this new sense of responsibility to the people that are desperately praying for this, for the hope and the freedom that we have in these products and in this opportunity. Because we all know that health and finances are those two top things that keep people up at night, that cause issues in marriage, that create anxiety and depression. Those two things are the two issues that people are just struggling with every single day and not even able to live because of that. And we have an answer to both of them. We have this incredible opportunity, we have these incredible products, and our job is not to create the outcome of offering that to people, but to just create the investment, to show up for it, to plant those seeds, and to know that we don't have to control what happens. We just have to control whether or not we are present in that invitation that we have been given to this, in that responsibility and obligation to offer this to people. And I think we so often think we have to do things the right way or figure out how this is going to happen. How am I going to implement this? And really, what we need to focus on is being authentic, just offering people, hey, this has changed my life, and maybe it's for you, but who would I be if I didn't share it with you? So I just want to ask you, is this something you're interested in? And just know that you are planting seeds in a field. I mean, I think often of farmers, like, you're praying for rain and you're praying for rain and you're praying for rain. But if you don't go plant any seeds, nothing's going to happen when the rain comes. It's just going to be mud. So you have to get up and go out there and put the seeds in the field and say, okay, God, I did something. Now you bring the outcome, because that's all you're responsible for. It doesn't matter if nobody signs up. I've had no enrollments for 2 months. Thank the Lord for that, because my life has been nuts, but I have showed up every single day because I was still planting seeds. And that will mean that the harvest will come when it's time for the harvest to come. And so I think it's really important to think about our dreams on a daily perspective, because we so often feel like, well, that's so far away. I don't know how I'm ever going to get there. But you have to show up in the little tiny things every single day. And life is going to get messy. It's going to get hard. You have to make these things a non-negotiable. So I continually ask myself, why am I doing this? Why did I start this? Why did I think that I wanted to share these things with people? Because I see people impacted every single day on my team whose lives have been absolutely changed. And if I hadn't said anything, that would never have happened. People would still be living in a prison of health issues and financial struggles and all kinds of things. That my responsibility to having this information creates an obligation for me to speak out and to show up every day, regardless of what's happening in my life. And I think we so often tend to speak these words to ourselves, like, well, I can't do this because, or I'm just not sure if I'm able to do this. And I think we create these prisons for our dreams in our mind that lock us down and make it unable for us to even get there, because we're so focused on what we need to be doing today that we can't even just be open to the fact that we're going to dream in a big picture, but we're going to show up in today, in that moment, regardless of where it ends up to be taking us tomorrow. And so the thing that I really have learned in the last 30 days is to show up for my goals, not show up for the atmosphere of today. Because there's been a lot of days where the last thing I wanted to do was be on a team call or do anything like that, because I was in a place that just made that feel impossible. Because life is hard. It's just going to always be hard. And that's okay. I think going past that is where you start to create that value of what really matters. And you start to show up for people, and you start to learn that this is something so much bigger than any one of us. This is about really an impact that God is using in this. This is about a company that gets it, that knows that there is a huge potential here to create freedom, and not just in our health. I mean, we talk so much about the products, but financial freedom. People are struggling and unable to pay their bills at night and worrying about these things. And I think so often, even ourselves too, I have a lot of people that have said, like, oh, I'm doing this because I could use the extra money. But then they end up figuring that, well, I can't really do it today. And I'm like, but you hate where you're at. And yet you love those excuses that you're used to. And we have to shift that. You have to start choosing to love where you're at and be fully present and hate the excuses, because those excuses are really the reflection of your reasons. And so if you're not showing up in your reasons, they will become your excuses. And I don't want to just say that, and I know it sounds like, well, okay, but you don't get it because my reasons are this or my excuses are this. I want you to have a really functional plan for this, because for me, it has to be something I can implement. Because I think the one thing that will change everything is grit, is just making things non-negotiable, that this is what I'm going to do. I've set out to do this no matter how long it takes, no matter what I have to go do and show up in and prioritize and schedule and all of those things. You have to make a choice every single day. I am going to do this regardless of how I feel today, regardless of if I'm tired, regardless of if I'm busy, regardless of anything, because I'm going to make that commitment to myself and my dreams and to the people that are depending on me. And when you start building a team, then you have more people dependent on you. And it's so important to set that example and show up continuously. And so we're talking then about changing patterns. You're shifting those excuses into reasons, and you're saying, instead of, well, I'm busy with my family, so I can't do this. You say, well, I have this family that I want to provide opportunities for. I want them to have the freedom to be together and have quality time together. I want to provide my husband with options. That means that those are now my reasons when they could have been my excuses. And one of the most important things with that that's really tangible that I want to make sure we address is that if you don't schedule your time, if you don't block your time, this is my work time, this is my family time, and this has been incredibly important for me because I have 5 kids. So it has to be non-negotiable. So I work during nap time, and I work 2 nights a week, and my phone is off from 4 to 8 p.m. every evening because that's our time together. And those are blocks of time. But what that does then is allow me to be fully present where I need to be in that time. Because if you don't schedule those priorities, your priorities will become your excuses. And you will end up just going in circles and circles and never going anywhere. And so taking that time to really commit to those really divided attentions, where I can say, okay, I'm fully present with my children now because I know I'm going to have this time to be fully present with my business later. It's allowing me the freedom to truly show up for each aspect and give it the real commitment and attention that it really deserves, and so that I don't have to feel guilty when I'm in the other time block. And then one of the things that I really have been really absorbing a lot. I consider myself a diamond. I just always have. I feel like I have an obligation to thousands of people that haven't showed up yet. But that's not necessarily where everybody else sees this business either. And one of my favorite things is Alec and Tarl, our CEO and founders, always say is that every single person matters in this business and in this company, because $200 a month will change someone's life. We're not always talking about people making $10,000 a month and how that kind of impact is going to be in somebody's life, because for some people, $200 a month will change your entire life. And that person and what they're doing and their goals and their purpose here is every bit as important as somebody who's making $10,000 a month, if they are showing up every single day in their specific goals and their specific journey and what they are called to do here, because that is what's so, so important. And I think too, we so often focus on diamond or wherever we want to go as being this far off goal. And we don't really realize that the only distance between where I am right now and being a diamond is time and grit. That's it. Because I'm just going to grow there. I'm not ready to be a diamond today. I haven't grown into that role yet. And so I know that it's going to take the time and the consistent showing up and the growing every single day, because I know that the difference between who I am and Brooke Hemingway and Jessica Heffley and Fallon and all of those people is time and grit and growth. And that is what happens. But if I don't show up for that, I'm not ever going to go there. It's not ever going to happen. So it's that showing up every single day that makes that difference. And that needs to happen even in seasons like this, when showing up is the last thing that I want to do, especially in seasons like this, when showing up is the last thing that I want to do. Because these are the seasons that really make or break your commitment. These are the seasons that really pour the value into this business, because there's times in the last month where if I had the means to give $1,000 to somebody, or do the things that really speak to my heart in the form of giving, it would have been such a powerful thing. And that doesn't mean that I need to be there today, but it means that God has planted those dreams in me. And being able to see that and see the places in lives where that would really have an impact, and knowing that someday I'll be able to do that because I'm not quitting today, because today was really hard. And even this morning, my brother called me and let me know that my sister-in-law's brother passed away. And it was like, okay, Lord, one more thing. And I was like, you know what? I'm showing up today. I'm showing up today, because all of these things just remind me that people are struggling, they're suffering, they are looking for hope, they are praying desperately every single day for what we have, whether that's the products, whether that's the opportunity, whether that's the community, because every single person is going to need something different from us. But if we don't show up, they're not going to get anything. And so it's our job to show up every single day and to know what we're called to. And if you made a commitment and you had a great product experience, or you got excited about the opportunity and you were like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to share it, I'm excited about this, and then life happened and you kind of got derailed and you're like, well, I'll do that later, I don't know. Just recommit. Just say, you know what? This is why I wanted to do this in the first place. And that is worth it. I'm worth it. I can do this one little step at a time. And get your sponsor to hold you accountable to that. Really ask someone, speak into my life about this. Remind me to show up when it gets hard, because those are the relationships that are the cornerstone of this. They really hold us steady in this. Like, I don't know, for me, not gonna cry, but being in San Diego with Michelle and with Tracy was such a powerful experience, because it not only was so much about the company, but it was about, this is my family. Like, we're doing this together, we're changing lives together, but we are holding each other up. We are praying over each other. We are showing up every single day, and we are dreaming really big together, even when that's scary, because I know that when I'm in a weak spot, they're going to hold me up. They're going to put a hand on my shoulder. They're going to hug me in a hotel lobby while I'm crying, and everybody else is excited and happy, because they know me and they know my story, and they're there to be with me. And so many people need that. As much as people need these products, as much as people need the financial opportunity, people need community. And if we don't show up for this, they won't get it, period. So I want to just end too with just talking a little bit about the fact that we get one life. That's something obviously that is incredibly dear to my heart in the last month, that if you have breath, you have purpose. And don't ever minimize your impact here. Don't ever make it about having to do all the things the right way. Don't ever make it about just, well, I don't know how to do this and I don't know how to share and I don't. Be authentic. Just love people. Just realize that this is a gift that we have to give people. And all we have to do is open our hearts. All we have to do is make connections and relationships and just say, hey, I have something and it's amazing. It's changed my life. It's changed my financial future. It's changed my health. It's changed my family. And I want to share that with you. And let go of the outcome, because the outcome is not about us. The planting the seeds, the investing of ourselves, the growing, that's about us. The outcome and the harvest is not about us. And we have all the tools that we need. The company has given us amazing tools and continue to do that every single day. It seems like I'm completely blown away. I mean, we were literally praying for 3-day challenge packs and then sitting at Leaders Retreat going, oh my goodness, they gave us 3-day challenge packs. I was like, what? Because they think about us. They think about what we need. They think about what people need. And that is the kind of company and the kind of mission that we want to be a part of. But if you don't show up, you're not a part of it. If you don't show up, you're not making an impact. If you don't show up, you're not going to change your own life. You're not going to change your own future and what you really dream of and what you want. And so that's my challenge to you is think about, what do you really want? Why did you decide? Because if you're on this call, you're at least interested in sharing. You're at least thinking about it. You at least have an idea of some kind of impact that's happened to you that is worth investing in. And don't let that go to waste. Don't let the excuses that have become so comfortable and familiar steal those dreams and steal that future. Shift that around and turn those into reasons, and step into your calling and show up every single day, regardless of what it feels like, and act on your goals, not the atmosphere of today. That's all I got.
Wow. I think you gave us a lot right there. There's not many times in life where I'm speechless and don't have anything to say. I feel like we need an altar call or something. Thank you, Lox, for being so real and vulnerable and sharing your heart with us. Honey, everybody on this call knows that you are a diamond. Your points just haven't caught up with you yet. So, Britt, do you have anything to say? I mean, that was it.
It was
Lox,
very encouraging, very encouraging. And I mean, I feel like we're all going to have life happen to us at some point in the business, at where we're building a business. And you definitely don't want to let what you've built just fall to the wayside, you know, just because you had a difficulty in life. I mean, at least show up, do the minimum, you know. And I'm super proud of you, Lox, because I know that it feels like a punch in the gut, and I know that you're grieving. And if anybody would have an excuse to not show up right now, it would be you, and you're still showing up. So you're such a leader, and I'm just so proud of you and so blessed to have you on our team.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, everybody. Keep the goals in your forefront, not your current atmosphere, and go ponder your purpose. Lox, thank you. Love you.
Thank you. Love you.
See y'all later.